Hello and welcome back to Podcasting as Praxis. I'm David, my pronouns are he and him.
I'm James, my pronouns are they and them.
I'm Jamie, my pronouns are he and him.
And I'm Rob, and mine are also he and him.
No Alistair this week. Alistair has made the wise choice to not come on an episode where we talk about the news.
Self-care is important.
Correct, yes. Whereas the rest of us, and you listener, are going to be subjected to Britain. Sorry.
Although, quite frankly, I don't know quite when the statistics start kicking in, but if you want to turn off now and just have numbers Foxteen count, then I don't care if you listen to the rest of this.
Whomst knows. Anyway, let's fucking get to it in, because we've got a lot to cover here, news-wise. There's a few things, and then we have an article read, but I'm not going to spoil who the article is by, but it is by a podcast favourite.
So returning champion, yeah.
Yes, returning champion is definitely correct. So
listen,
forward
the
to
fact
that.
the fact that Rob started giggling there makes me think that I should do an Alistair and just nope out now. So
No, you will want to stay, I promise you.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, anyway, let's hit off with the news. So I thought we'd start on education.
Education.
Couple of stories in
education.
Damn.
Yes.
and war.
That's it. The long tone of E. We have nurseries first off.
Uh-huh.
So parents have been facing issues with getting kind of childcare at all, really, because quite often nurseries are apparently just no longer there. They just shut and don't come back, which is cool, useful, just what you want when you've got work and shit to balance childcare around. So that's good. So yeah, there's been a spate of closures of nurseries, and this is like actually a long-term issue that's coming to bear with the general cost of living crisis.
Wait.
Obviously,
Are you saying that there are long-term, structurally ignored issues in the United Kingdom that have never been properly addressed, even though many flashing red warning lights were given, and all of a sudden this is now erupted? This is incredible. This never happens in the UK.
where would you possibly get that from?
I love the sound of roosting in the dark, dark evening, you know?
Yeah. So, between energy costs and food costs, because obviously nurseries have to provide food as well, those rising to ridiculous levels, where I seen one statistic where it was like $9,000 or something like that for a quarter of the energy use for one small nursery.
Oh, yeah. Because people...
There's no cap on
Exactly.
on commercial premises.
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
so they've been getting like double shafted, well, probably triple shafted, because everyone else has been getting double shafted at the very least. But that has also kind of started to hit in at the brick wall of the staffing crisis. There was a study done back in March this year where 30% of nurseries that were surveyed said that they were currently operating at a loss back in March, and 34% of them... Yeah, back in March, yeah, with 34% of them back in March, mind, saying that they expected to in the 12 months following. So this is before shit got fucked. So that's probably much closer to 100%.
I was going to say, now we can reasonably assume it's like 30% plus that 34 plus some more. So like 70, 80% of all nurseries or something?
Probably, yeah. If they're not already, they will be within the next like 6 months. Yeah, cool. So, yeah. Don't, it's fine. Just leave it, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Sorry, citizen, your child is too expensive. We can no longer afford to stable them. They'll have to be put down. Please line up in front of a queue for the bolt gun.
Either that or, maybe take some measurements of your child and then take measurements of chimneys in the area near you, and they could be a nice little earner.
It's time for a new generation X. Just let your kids roam around the woods eating fucking hose pipes or whatever the fuck people are always on about on Twitter.
No, just strap them to yourself and use them as warmers as the cold comes in.
It is always worth remembering, by the way, that Westminster and the Parliament have well-subsidised childcare that I'm going to assume is not closing.
Oh, well, I don't know about that. Let's just assume, no, of course it's fucking not. But let's talk slightly about that. So in England, I don't have the stats for Scotland and shit. Shit's probably fucked here as well, but I don't have any of the details for it because obviously news England. 3 and 4 year olds are entitled to 15 hours of free childcare a week. And, quote, working families, okay, are entitled to an additional 15 hours. So that's all government funded.
Right, so that's like 30 hours a week, right? If
Yeah.
you get the top up, the average UK working week is what? It's over 30, right? It's somewhere.
It's like 40 odd.
It's like 80 if you include the commute.
Yeah. Yeah, it's obviously nowhere near enough.
And you should include the commute.
Mhm. Yes, you should. But obviously, that's not going to be enough.
Unless
because-
you're working from home, in which case, like, ha ha ha, fuck you, Alan Sugar.
That is every morning when I wake up. Well, every evening when I wake. Well, every God knows what time of the day or night I wake up. I just like lie there and I stretch and I just say to myself, I am enraging Alan Sugar, and that just makes my day. That's like start as you mean to go on. Put sort of spring in my step.
Right, so
Absolutely.
I've just had a
That
quick
is the
look
best
at
way to start the day.
some statistics, and depending on which numbers function you use, but it's like the average UK person works between 36 and 38 hours a week, so there was already between 6 and 8 hours of uncovered childcare, even if you got the 15 hours plus the additional working family top-up. Okay.
Yeah, and
Cool.
any hours on top of that is covered by fees. You need to pay fees. So that's like these. Remember, this isn't like actually like state education or anything like that. It's all private businesses.
Well, if you're paying fees, I hope they're getting a degree that's worth, like, having. You know what I mean? None of this fucking liberal arts bullshit.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah, unless
like,
your
I don't
toddler
know.
is writing a fucking thesis on business or some shit, you've fucked up.
Oh, so we are reviewing Boss Baby tonight. Then.
my yeah, welcome to the My Little Coder nursery.
What I love about the decades-long drive to encourage everyone should learn to code is that, like, it hasn't done anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, what you have now is just, like, thousands upon thousands of shit coders everywhere, and it hasn't solved, like, any of the problems for banks or whatever, who all wanted to drive down their fucking wage costs. Because now, if anything, they have to pay more for the 3 guys that know what they're doing. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I have a friend who's well educated who wanted to work in international development. That couldn't happen. Wanted to then, I'll do something language related translation. That couldn't happen. Again, oversubscription and the pays and conditions. Of
Yeah, I
shit.
was going to say,
So
I
they said, you know
in
what?
translation, do not go there. It is terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Just do
So
it
they're-
badly.
So they were then like, well, I guess I can teach because I like kids, and teaching it's a good and it's a noble profession, and I've got plenty of skills which are worth passing on. Can't get work in teaching. So guess what they're currently doing? A fucking paid course by the government in Python. Because that's absolutely what we fucking need right now.
Is that perhaps
And,
at a government-run college that is also teaching drywalling?
How to do drywall? Yeah. No, I haven't.
I keep
asked them.
telling you it was dry stone wall, and it's not the same thing as drywall. Don't ask me to plaster your flat because it'll look too rural.
But what if
Well,
that's
I'm
my
glad you
grand
learned something
design?
when you were there, Jamie. See, this is great because what the government did is it sent all the people who needed to do, dry stone walling certification there, and they all learned to do computers. And they sent people like Jamie who, clearly needed to learn how to do computers there, and they all learned dry stone walling. So the system works, really.
Yeah, though, as a disclaimer, don't ask me to make a dry stone wall either because I ain't got a fucking clue.
Mhm.
Foiled.
Don't ask Jamie to do any kind of work at all, really. That's
Yeah, don't
really
ask
the true
him.
lesson of this.
Err
Well
on the side of
established.
caution there.
In all seriousness, I think there is a policy solution here, and it's a pretty straightforward and easy one, actually, because with the rising costs of food, I have a modest proposal that might be able to solve this solution for everyone. I do like it when I crack a joke and only Rob laughs. I'm like, yes, I'm nailing my target audience.
So, if I can get back to this, I've got an incredible little quote here, but before we get to that, obviously, like I was saying, we need fees to make up the shortfall in government
course.
funding. That's the only way you can possibly do it, because these
true.
are all private businesses, etc., etc. Now, here's a quote, and depending on the type of person you are, you will take different things from it.
Oh, dear. A Rorschach quote.
The BBC's got a couple of quotes from a managing director of a nursery who says that despite raising fees twice in 1 year and increasing the salaries of the lowest paid staff by 12.5%, they can't compete, quote, with the likes of Hermes, Amazon, Just Basic retail jobs, who are paying these really high hourly amounts with much more flexible hours.
Whoa,
Oh my God.
Whoa.
Living the
is
fucking now.
that is the most cursed quote I have heard in a long time.
I love my Amazon flexible hours.
That's Amazon, who just recently tried to pass off a 35 pence wage rise.
Yeah, where everybody's going on strike at the moment. By the way, solidarity.
Well,
Yeah.
frankly, they should be grateful for that 35p wage rise, because I bought a house for that in 1967.
I mean, also, this is Amazon who, I shit you not, true story, they are seriously contemplating and worrying about the fact that they are burning through workers to the point that they will run out. As in, they will have employed all the employable people in a community and fired all the employable people in a community because they burn through them, because people can only put up with Amazon's bullshit for like a fixed period of time. Like, this is, you can look this story up. It's actually like, I think in Minneapolis in particular, they're worried.
You do realise the solution that they're going to come up with to that is simply fitting wheels on the warehouse or some shit so they can just roll it into another town afterwards.
No,
they're not going to learn any actual lessons.
It's going to be getting the police, it's going to be getting politicians to pass a new law, so when the police raid a house on the basis of evidence gathered by the occupant's Roomba, that you know what I mean, it's legal for the police to fucking abduct the occupants and put them into fucking Amazon camps where they pack boxes.
Well,
Jamie, it's fine. We'll talk about charter cities on another episode, I think.
Oh, we will. I have another thought though. What if we got the army in to do the Amazon work?
No, you're getting fuck all. Every single delivery somehow either stolen, broken, or both. Just another note there. Hermes, the average pay rate per year is 17,000.
All right, just to double check, because I'm going to be like a bougie cunt here, but I'm assuming that we're talking about a delivery company and not the incredibly expensive French scarf company.
Jesus fucking Christ, Rob.
Whoa.
So yeah, that's where that is.
I
not
bet
good,
I bet the scarf cunts don't get that much more.
Probably not. No.
I don't know what is the going rate in, I don't know, Bangladesh or wherever they probably outsource it to.
I don't know the exchange rate of scarf to pounds. So the government obviously was approached for comment on this, and they said they spent $4 billion a year, over, each of the last 5 years, on childcare, and wasn't aware of any issues of nurseries closing, etc. Maybe if it wasn't fucking privatised their industry, then you would have an idea.
No, but they do subsidies, and as we can see, a private market with public subsidies works great. I mean, that's true everywhere. Would you
like to hear about another example of that working in education?
Ooh, of course.
This is an article from the Times, I believe. Cost of learning crisis. Private school education set to top £500,000.
Oh shit!
Check on.
So the average cost of a boarding school education is forecast to pass £500,000 for the first time as parents are hit with fee increases. Since 2010, schools have typically increased their fees by 3 to 5% a year. This year, they went up an average of 3%, but some jumped by 7%.
Yeah. This is... It does not cost that much to feed, clothe, and, teach and house, kids. It doesn't cost $500,000 a year.
Yeah, but most of it is spent, defending themselves from woke lawsuits, I would imagine. But anyway, there's a simple solution for you know what I mean, these parents that struggle to pay $500,000 a year for Tarquin to learn how to properly fucking run the country or whatever, and it's we
visit
them and we
admire
their stuff.
There it is, first one of the episode.
Yeah,
and the sad thing is, Jamie, I'm right there with you, but it'll never make it past the edit.
No, I think our comrade TTS will come in to save us for that one, I think. So, according to new analysis, parents will pay an average of $505,955 for a child who starts school this year in boards from the age of 7 if fees increase by 2% each year of their education. The research from the private bank Weatherby's also shows that if fees increase by 5% a year, it'll cost £654,919. You would need to earn a gross salary of about $49,230 to take home $37,032 a year. The average cost of sending one child to boarding school per year before extras such as music lessons are added in.
I couldn't follow any of that. Like that was just a string of like numbers.
It's essentially
That's the thing. All of the numbers involved in this are very large. Is generally the problem.
You have to earn 50 grand pre-tax in order to spend all that money on one child going to like basic bare minimum boarding school, and not so, but they can't play instruments or ride horses or, I assume, hunt the most dangerous game on the weekends.
Yeah, no mandolin for the child, etc. Like none of that.
How can you expect them to properly learn dressage for less than $500,000 a year?
You simply can't. You simply can't. I mean, to be fair, what you're buying with these things is presumably also a good education, because the class sizes will, I assume, be small. But what you're buying is access for your child to be surrounded by little Tarquins, so they can all fuck off and go work for the London City after
it's this. So they can live up to the ideal of growing up to be Oik, aka George Osborne. You know?
Yeah.
The solution to George Osborne is if we
call David Dickinson for and have him appraise
all this stuff.
Gemma Zoe Smith, 30, whose education advisory company, Top School and Uni, supports parents applying to private schools, said that many had remained open and were able to provide good support during the pandemic, particularly for international students, which was attractive to parents. I wonder why they could do that.
So I want to pause here. What was that name again, David?
Top School and Uni.
No. The name of the person.
Oh, Gemma Zoe Smith.
So here's the thing. So I was raised Catholic. Yeah, this is well known. I rejected the whole thing when I was like 10 years old, but I was raised Catholic, and so for me, having middle names was not unusual. Like, there's so many fucking Josephines and Marys, like you wouldn't believe, Mary Josephine Maguli is literally a person I know. I'm not even kidding. And the thing is, when I kind of became an adult, I began to realize, middle names, that's interesting, because they only really come up, like, some people have them, but they don't, you don't advertise them, you don't refer to people by them, right? And
not
so
unless they shot the president. Exactly,
it only really comes up in a few different circumstances. One is a certain kind of American background, right? One is, there's Catholicism going on, and the other is it's class. And I'm going to be honest, Gemma Zoe is definitely not a traditional Catholic kind of name, and she doesn't sound particularly American either. So I wonder what particular echelon of our society she originates from. Anyone care to take a guess?
Are you saying it's middle class to have a middle name?
No, I'm saying it's middle class to use it as part of your name. Like, she's not Gemma Smith. She's Gemma Zoe Smith, and it's important you know that. You get me?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Okay, let me put it this way, Jamie. Like, if you were introducing yourself, would you give your full, any middle names you've got when you were doing that introduction?
No.
Rob, if you were introducing yourself, would you...
Well, unless I was going by Jim Bob for comedy purposes.
Well,
I think you should, though.
But, Rob, if you were introducing yourself to someone, would you introduce yourself with your middle names?
I would take hours.
Prosecution rests.
Oh, dear. Right. I'm going to push on this because I've got some excerpts from the article of people affected by this, and we all want to hear from them.
Oh, God,
yes, of course.
I'm going to open a beer.
So, many people made significant savings during the lockdowns of the last 2 years, and this could have boosted the affordability of private education for parents who previously couldn't consider it.
So it's only affordable
That's
because people kept their kids at home for 2 years and now they have some money to spare.
Yeah.
So it hasn't made it more affordable. You've just created a weird bulk of savings.
So let's check in with the Trumps first, shall we? Charlotte and Ben Trump from North Dorset are preparing for the world of private school fees for their
I bet
daughter.
they've had a fun 6 years.
Yeah, just
hope
sitting there going, I know it's just a surname. It's just a surname, but like, it's got the same kind of cachet. If,
Imagine being at a middle-class dinner party in the last 6 years and your surname's Trump.
Yeah.
It must have been a
It's
fucking
also-
bloodbath.
It's also like, if you were to meet someone with the surname Obama, right? Or you were to meet someone with a surname, say, Churchill or Hitler or like any of the, it's like you were sitting there the whole time going, I know this is completely unrelated, but, and so David,
It depends, like,
unfortunately,
if you met someone with the surname Hitler in South America, it's probably not that unrelated.
we don't talk about Argentina.
Or they could be called Eddie. You never know. But yeah,
9,
so
verboten. But I'm honestly, David, as you're talking about these people, I'm just sitting here picturing them both with mop blonde hair, which is just really not fair on them.
no, you don't need to be fair to them. You'll
All right,
understand why.
tell me more about these average normal people.
They're preparing for the world of private school fees for their daughter, Ottilie.
No.
What?
What, like Butterly?
Ottolie.
Ottilie.
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 Yeah. That's Charlotte and Ben Trump and their daughter, Ottilie.
So they've
Ottilie sounds like an app. It does.
No, that's like purebred to get yourself into the upper class. This is just like people who want to, it's like naming. It's like if you're Ben and Sally and you name your child Tarquinius Sextus or something. Like it has that vibe.
I think you'll find it's pronounced bouquet.
I mean, I think you're being very unfair on Utterly, and they're probably not as like fucking badly equipped for life as like the thousands of children you have to imagine are going around called like whatever that fucking dipshit from Game of Thrones was called.
Which of the many?
The dragon wifey.
Classy,
Oh, you've got to remember
sweet.
though. No, you've got to remember that they didn't actually. A lot of them didn't call the child the name. They called the child the title.
Yeah.
Which is even funnier.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Otley's actually 8 months old at the moment.
8
good
months?
fucking luck. 8 months, and they're preparing already because, of course, you need to. Both Charlotte, 36, and Ben, 33, went to private boarding school and,
There's
as
a
former
shock.
teachers, have worked in them. They loved their experience, so want to replicate it for Ottilie.
Fucking hell.
Yep.
Wait, they
we
worked,
feel that private schools...
Wait. They both worked in boarding schools.
They went
in
to
public schools.
They went to, and then they both worked in.
And
Yes.
they looked around and thought, this
Yes.
kind of environment that breeds like psychopaths is the thing that we
Rob.
want to have our children in.
I'm going to give you a word to look up. It's called institutionalization. So they go on. We feel that private schools give children a very wide range of experiences and loads of opportunities. It's the whole package, said Charlotte, who is now a private tutor and has launched QB, a maths subscription box.
Sorry, how is
Wait,
that
stop,
an app
stop.
name?
Don't you dare interrupt me here. Launched QB, a maths subscription box for young children.
What's a subscription
Right.
box? What?
It's
Hell.
when they
So-
send you like fucking cheese on toast
Oh,
through the
that
mail.
shit.
So,
Wait, but
hang
it's
on.
filled with math.
Hang on.
It's like a
Ottilie-
box of numbers. Do you know what I mean? You can just like the magnetic ones you can put on your fridge.
But I have
Ottilie is a
Sesame
name,
Street at home.
But QB is an app.
Yes.
What world do we
It's
live
not
in?
an app. It's a fucking subscription box. Apps are
Yeah.
so old hat, man. Who the fuck are you, like Jeremy Renner?
They haven't sat down and crunched the numbers, they say, but
Well, no,
Which-
that was all upset when they got me through the post.
If you crunch all the numbers, you can't send them in the boxes, and everybody just gets like number dust. That makes no sense at all.
It's like one of those packages you send to a mathematician to really upset them. It's like glitter for mathematicians. A number bomb, if you will.
Number dust is what Nick snorts at the weekends.
Only the high grade 7 to 9s for our Nick.
oh, fucking hell. Right. But it is a priority for us, so we will do what we can to make sure we can afford it. We are already saving. And then I've got the next couple, Alison Rooney and her partner Andrew Whittle, a chartered surveyor.
Wait, Whittle?
Whittle, that's a normal name.
No.
That's a normal name.
No, it's not, but sure.
It's a normal British name, sorry. Normal name for a normal island. Anyway, a chartered surveyor pay about £13,000 a year to send their 13-year-old daughter, Lucia Whittle, as a day pupil to West Home School in Blackburn. Private school had never been the plan, but once they started looking at secondary schools and visited West Home, they decided it was worth the money.
Okay, so they saw a BAME person and ran the fuck away.
Well, okay, they might have seen a charter school too and went, oh God, we're not sending them to prison.
It was about shifting our priorities, said Rooney. We have a house that needs a lot of work, but that won't be finished for a while because the money is going into school fees. We don't get new cars, and we stick to cheap and cheerful package holidays.
No, we don't get new cars.
Yeah.
I also like this. Like, we're living in a damp tip and we can't go on holiday, but, you know, our daughter...
No,
I bet
they're
they
going
fucking
on
aren't,
holiday.
though. I bet they're talking when they're saying the house needs a lot of work. I bet they mean like a second conservatory.
Yeah. Also, they explicitly, Rob, they are going on holiday. They're just going on package holidays rather than bespoke
Cheap and cheerful
personal
ones
travel.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Bet you they're not going to Butlins.
Saw a guy in a vest on the plane, man. It was horrifying.
Rooney said that she did not feel as if there were many great state school options in her area, and liked the smaller class sizes at West Home, and that it, quote, felt like a family.
What, because you live there?
That one's only a day school, so she doesn't live there. The child doesn't live there.
So she does still have a family.
Well, how does that feel like? How does that feel like a family and not a job?
But that's the thing. That phrasing right there, that's to equip her for when she runs her own small business, so that she can say it's just like a family. You can't unionise. I felt like my children may get lost a little bit in the system, whereas I think Lucia's school looks at children holistically. They try to find what they are good at.
Oh my God.
They try to find...
hello, officer? This guy in the park is looking at my child holistically. I'm very concerned.
Holy fucking shit, man!
He's looking at my child's holistic. I'm really uncomfortable with this.
They try to find what they're good at and will push the boat out in that area.
I just really like
kids,
the idea
please.
of this girl inheriting her parents' business and just being like, no, my family trademarked the number 5 200 years ago, and we still draw an income from that.
It's a different family, but yeah, that's good. They are just as enthusiastic about hockey or cooking as they are academics. And there are so many experiences. I love the idea that they're going off on these adventures and seeing things I'm probably never going to see in my lifetime. That must be really nice for your child. Yeah. The plan is that their son, Oren, 6, will join Lucia at West Home, at least for secondary school, but they hope they will be able to send him sooner if they can afford to do so.
Do you know, Oren is the name of the character in the Pathfinder game I run at the weekend. I'm not even joking, and it was picked to sound like a fucking reclusive academic in like a, Victoriana-esque kind of setting, and here we fucking are. Like,
ding,
life
ding, ding.
imitates art.
Rooney and a friend have started an online business called Rob and Rue, which sells British-made luxury products. British-made luxury products is the only description here. Like, I have not Googled it. I refuse to check and find out. Just luxury products. That's all the details I've got.
That's no, it's laser-etched metal posters with "Keep calm and carry on" them.
Oh.
Are they currently also under investigation by the Charities Commission for selling Captain Tom memorabilia? Or do we not know this?
We don't know. We can't possibly say.
I bet if you splash out on getting yourself a nice laser etcher, I bet you can make your money back overnight just selling like stupid shit to hipsters.
So then we've got, just to cap off the article, Julie Robinson, who is the ISC chief executive, said that every parent wants to give their child the best start in life, and many families choose to invest in an independent education for some or all of their child's schooling. schools always try to keep fees affordable, and some charge only a few £1,000s per year.
A few?
Wow.
Yeah. She also added that independent schools continue to widen access through transformational bursary schemes and provide £480 million in means-tested fee assistance.
Means test, Jesus
Fuck
fucking
off.
Christ. Fuck off.
Yeah. So that is that's the education section covered. So first up, rail fares. It is that time of the year where we get to find out how much the rail fares will go up next year.
Is it 80%?
We don't know yet, because it will be tomorrow that this actually happens, but it's going to be fucking ridiculous. So normally what happens is the rate of inflation in July is the kind of setting point for it. The normal formula is inflation in July plus 1%. The inflation used is RPI, not CPI, so that's the retail price index versus the consumer price index. I'm not going to go into massive amounts of detail in this, but RPI is the one that is higher. And it was 11.8% in June. So
Cool.
Am I allowed to make a prediction? Can we do that?
Go ahead.
I think it's going to be 14%. Because I think
There
they're
you
going
go.
to tack on a few percent just to kind of
Well,
future-proof themselves.
What the government has said they're going to do is that this year, rather than do RPI plus 1, they're going to do a below inflation rise in rail fares.
Oh, thank you.
Really?
Ooh.
I really doubt that.
Well, yeah, that's the government now, not the government under Liz Truss when
Yeah.
that happens finally. So let's see if that one fucking
Yeah, but
survives the
we're all going to
transition
get
there.
a tax cut with
Yeah,
Liz
but
Truss,
does she
it'll be
even know
fine.
what a train is?
No, she probably doesn't. But yeah, like I said, we'll just need to wait and see whether or not that actually does track through. It probably won't. But rail fares are not the only thing that are going to be fucked. But actually, one last thing to mention there is that the price rise won't actually take effect until March next year. So like we get a really good run up of knowing how fucked that's going to be for a while, which is cool. But yeah, let's just wait and see what happens with that one. It'll probably be fucked. Other things to note there is that Wales doesn't set its own price. It just, well, I think it does, but it generally just does what England does. Scotland, the government here hasn't actually said what it's going to do at all, because why would the SNP do mad shit like have policies and try to make a difference? And
Well, they've
Ireland does its own
nationalised.
shit.
Well, the S&P have nationalised the trains, David, so I presume it'll all be fine.
Yes, definitely, 100%. Definitely will not be set up to fail so that the government can make money. Anyway, next thing to look at that's fucked is food. So, food is set to go up in price to the point of a weekly shop costing an extra £10. That's £10 every fucking week, bringing the average annual cost of groceries up to £5,128. In the run up to the 4 weeks up to the 7th of August, the price of the average food shop has risen by 11.6%.
Jesus fucking Christ.
In 4 weeks. Yes.
I know.
Yes. Shit is fucked. And as part of this problem, by the way, just to note, like that's like the average, obviously. If you've got a pet food has gone up by 20%.
I know.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, so that's pretty fucked, and will only continue to get more fucked. So I'm sure Rob has a million things he wants to say on this, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to let him. But I know. Morrison's has almost lost its spot as the 4th biggest supermarket in market share to Aldi. Of all things,
bad.
like you.
That's going to be bad news for
Yeah.
the investment funds that bought it for like a
Yeah.
fucking $1
Oh well, never mind.
Rest in piss.
Yeah, Aldi seen a 1.8% share market share increase. Iceland, however, seen a 3% increase. And I want to talk a little bit more about Iceland because that's probably going to continue to increase because they've just launched a nationwide food loan scheme.
Yeah, this is the most cursed shit.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So I haven't had enough time to dig into this like fully. I've shared a document.
I actually saw something about it, and I know how the food loan works.
Oh, go ahead.
But no, I think it's apparently going to be interest free, which is
Yes.
like, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Mr. Ambassador, you were spoiling us, etc.
It's a deeply fucking weird scheme. So what happens is you can borrow between £25 and £100, and it's on a preloaded card, obviously, because you can't. Why let you spend it in other places and shit? That'd be fucked up. And
of course, because otherwise you'd buy cigarette and lobster thermidor with it or something, I assume.
I do not have enough information on all the rules of what exactly you can fucking buy. I don't know if there is any kind of like shit in there. I have not had the chance to get a good look at it, but I did look at some other stuff within the. They did a pilot scheme, and there was a big report done on the pilot scheme by an independent organisation, and I've found a couple of little things in there that are very not so good, but we'll get to that in a second. So yeah, you get £25 to £100, and you pay it back at up to £10 a week. And I think the APR on it's fucking ridiculous, obviously, but because it's for really short term loans, it's not too bad, etc. Is the line that they're pulling. But the interest on it will be gone because Iceland have decided that they will pay an undisclosed sum to the CIC that runs it, which is called Fair for You. And that is going to keep the loans interest-free now that they've rolled it out nationally.
Wait, I'm confused. So there are loans. They are loans. They do charge interest, but it's only because Iceland gives the money that covers the interest fee to this foundation that it's a loan. That it's a loan without an interest rate. It's effectively. Yeah. So what happens? Bear with me. What happens if a whole bunch of families who are already in deep trouble get sort of, make this part of their weekly shopping and their budget, and then Iceland all of a sudden says, we're not putting that money in anymore? Does everybody then have to just pay the interest fees? Because at that point,
I don't know.
Do not become addicted to water or indeed debit. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, how's it supposed to work? Like, because like they give you £100 one week, and Jamie Oliver like scowls at you if you spend it on chicken nuggets or whatever. But then, like,
I mean, you're shopping at Iceland. He's scowling at you already.
You have to give like £10 a week back. But then, what if you need another £100 for the next week's shopping?
Yes. Well, you're capped at £100, so like it's just like any other fucking loan. If you can't afford to be getting the loan in the first place, then it's going to be bad for you when you need to start repaying it. Like, it's as simple as that. So,
are we going to get like Jim Davidson on the adverts during Countdown asking you to consolidate your food loans? One manager with monthly repayment.
Oh, that is shaking me, Jamie. I think I've seen a vision of the future thanks to you.
Yeah. Well, like I said, they did a survey during the pilot, and during the pilot there was like an actual interest rate applied, although all I've seen for it was minimal for the amount. I don't know exactly how much, but whatever. The pilot found that 92% of people that they surveyed that used it reduced or stopped their use entirely of food banks, and that 71% felt less likely to fall behind on rent or other bills, which all sounds quite good. And considering it's interest-free, it's not the worst thing. Like, there's better fucking ways that you could do shit, but it's not the worst thing. It's interest-free. If there's protections there, etc., and there's some sort of flexibility built into the repayments as well, then even better. But the survey I found, and I had to dig through the fucking initial document for this, targeted people who had been part of the scheme since as far back as between July and November 2021. So they had to be in the pilot and have started using it no later than November 2021. So in other words, before shit got fucked up. And this is the rationale for it being now good enough to roll out nationally. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as successful as the fucking planned, because economy very different now and shit more fucked. So keep an eye on that. We'll see how that one goes. And I think, Rob, you said you wanted a more detailed look into that one as well.
Look at it in detail, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like on the plus side, that £100's going to get someone at like a half a fucking kilo of cheese or something in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, that's good.
And cheese actually burns quite slowly, so you could use it to heat your home. It's very efficient in that way, and cheaper.
Yeah. Anyway, think we'll knock the news stuff in the head there. No need to label the points. But
yeah, it's fine. Let me put down my noose.
Yeah, no. Keep a hold. Because it's article time.
Mm. Yeah, shall we swing like we did in the news section once again from the poorest in our societies, the people with the real problem in our society, or at least the people who.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no!
Yeah, this is yet another article by fan favorite Helen Kerwin Taylor, who, if you don't remember her, she's the one who wrote about the people whose butlers were fleeing and leaving dead bees on the windowsill.
So, okay, I'm glad I stuck around because I missed that last episode. And I did not get to be there for the bee genocide. So, yes, I'm here, finally.
So she's back with another look into the lives and issues and the solutions this time for the people, again, as I say, with the real problem in our society. The article's called, it was in the
Is
Times...
one of the solutions that we
Have a frank discussion with
them all and
reach an agreement about sharing
their stuff.
Well, it might be that they end up
having a yard sale.
during the course of this article.
And can I have their stuff then?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Sweet.
All right, so the article is called Viva Maya, Why I Splashed Out to Fast with the Super Rich. Struggling to diet, surrounded by temptation, Helen Kerwin Taylor and her husband took drastic measures.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
Oh yes. Fasting is the innest of in things, but when I read last week...
Oh my fucking Christ alive.
You're not hungry, you're just imitating the latest fad of the rich.
Yes.
I mean, I fully support, like, that this fucking idiot gets, like, paid to go on dipshit safari twice a year, apparently.
But when I read last week that scientists were recommending no food after 3 p.m., I had quite the brackets reduced
No, they
belly
weren't.
laugh.
When were scientists recommending this?
I don't fucking know. This is probably like...
It's always after 3 p.m. somewhere. What? That's a fucking meaningless statement.
Well, if you want meaningless, all those starvation combinations, 5-2, 16-8, OMAD, that us mortals try.
What?
I know what all of that means, but...
The only one I know is 5-2. It's a thing where you eat normally for 5 days, and then 2 days you literally fast. You eat like a couple of dry crackers and drink water.
Yeah, right, run through them all and I'll translate. Go on, repeat them again one at a time.
5-2?
Is what you've just said.
16-8?
Okay, you basically fast for 16 hours each day and do all your eating within an 8-hour window.
And OMAD, OMAD.
Is that not just called being awake?
No.
Only if you sleep for 16 hours.
Don't judge me.
OMAD is 1 meal a day.
Yes, it is actually. Jesus Christ. Okay.
What? I told you I knew what it meant. And was that? Was I secretly setting a test there?
I
or
thought you were
something?
guessing. I thought you were just well informed.
No, I'm familiar with weight loss stuff. I could go even further than that, but I mean,
well, they do. So
it gets pretty
we'll
silly.
get there. Among, let's say, the well-off, hyphens, although I really mean the very, very well-off, there is a cult of fasting too, but the easy way, namely a trip to the Maya, or Lanzerhof, or the Buchinger Wilhelmli.
What?
They're different. They're different.
Are you reading this in Dutch? Because
No,
I haven't
German.
got a fucking clue what you're talking about, mate.
Jamie, I know you're sitting in the kitchen, but can you smell toast?
These clinics would not be filled to capacity were the elite all bastions of self-discipline and virtue. In fact, the three top fasting clinics located in Austria, Germany and Spain have taken over from the decadent 5-star Mykonos and Ibiza hotels as the A-list summer destination.
What the fuck is a fasting clinic?
So,
Can you
right,
not just
okay.
lock
We
yourself
will
in the
explore
shed?
that.
Right, okay. Let's actually translate.
Oh,
for a
I've been to
second.
the exclusive Fritzl clinic in Austria.
On the plus side, you got to spend a lot of time with your family. Yeah. So,
Jesus Christ.
In all seriousness, like fasting clinic. In all seriousness, like, okay, fasting clinics is pretty much what it says on the tin. It's medical observation whilst you undergo fasting. Now, you might think, who needs that? And the answer is that actually there is a role for fasting clinics, which is, for example, if you are diabetic or you have a blood sugar related kind of disorder or another health complication. I'm sure we all know someone who that could potentially apply to. If you wanted to fast in that scenario, you'd need a fasting clinic to be able to do it under medical observation. However, the rich like to do it too because, you know, being reassured that they're not fucking dying the first time they miss a meal in their life is something that, you know, they basically are willing to pay through the nose for. So a doctor can literally babysit them and, you know, tell them to drink water with honey in it and at the end maybe have a light soup to ease themselves back into having, like,
all right,
you know,
stop
out of
spoiling
their,
the article.
I just like to be involved. Do you know what I mean? It's like, if you've got all that money, what else are you going to spend it on other than stupid shit to try and feel alive?
I speak with authority here, having just returned from 10 days at the Viva Maya clinic in Althausee, Austria, where the first guest to greet my eye, because why wouldn't she, was Rebel Wilson, who left an enormous comment in the red felt marker in the guest book, as hard to miss as a meteor hurtling towards you, saying, "You guys have changed my life." Seated in the lobby was an A-list Hollywood actor, a 10-year habitué, I am told, with entourage. You know that something is in when people come all the way from LA, there were quite a few others, which is supposed to be the one place where no one eats.
Okay, hold on, right? Why does the A-list actor get privacy, but Rebel Wilson, like, doesn't?
Guess.
Yeah, I mean, you can guess, but yeah, I'm going fast.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Going fasting is the new skiing.
What, in that if you do it badly, you end up breaking your bones? Or
Yeah.
you end up-
Do you also need to wear like a helmet and goggles while fasting? I'm not entirely sure of this, but sure. Some of our friends seem to be permanently off to or back from one of these three clinics. Regulars visit 3 or 4 times a year when the belt gets tight again or the booze starts to manifest. You know, fine. Hey, up to everybody to live their lives, but, you know, you could just try exercising some amount of self-control so you don't have to spend time with the Fritzl family every fucking quarter. One friend clocked 12 weeks of Meyer-ing last year and was just arriving again as we left. I suspect they leave a suitcase. One box-shaped resident we met on our stay was spending 3 months there, 20 days in...
What shaped?
Box-shaped.
Did they meet Mr. Strong?
I'm also like, let's back up a second. You suspect they leave a suitcase. What? Do they think you leave a suitcase and it's magically transmuted into clean clothes by the time you come back? I mean, maybe,
For
but
this
I doubt
money,
it somehow.
presumably,
What?
yes, but...
It's
What, so
take a
laundry
suitcase,
is
leave
included?
a suitcase.
Maybe they're just trying to, like, subtly shop their neighbor to prevent. You know what I mean? Maybe that's like the middle class euphemism for living next door to a terrorist. Oh, I hear he leaves a suitcase.
See, I was going in a different direction. I thought that maybe this is the Fritzl clinic. Anyway,
Some guests bring their full retinue of bodyguards, nannies, and children. There are villas to accommodate these sorts, as well as local airports, convenience for private jets. To be fair, there are also plenty of Magic Mountain guests suffering from illnesses such as Parkinson's, diabetes, long COVID, or the aftermath of cancer treatments. This is the stuff that you were talking about, James, where it might actually make some sense.
It's wild how long COVID is a serious issue when you're rich.
Yeah. Many burnt out corporate singletons summer here, brackets. Being alone is normal. Almost everyone buddies up. One corporate titan we know just comes to work. It clears my head, he says.
Being alone is not.
Well, we know that's not Alan Sugar then. You know what I mean? Unless it clears his head entirely. Just like turns up every day, they just like tip him upside down, like bang one of his ears, so like brain fragments come out the other side, and then he goes home and like from the plane tweets about like a video of the fucking Earth being hit by a fucking comet or something. And
Yeah,
go, when did this happen?
They turn him upside down, they give him a solid shake, they bang his ear, number dust falls out, and then they sell it at a profit to accountants across England.
Then there are the jet setters who have now added the Maya to their yearly tax-motivated romps between St. Moritz, the Maldives, Moscow, and London.
Oh, I love a good tax-motivated romp. That's what Nick gets up to on the weekend.
Yeah, that's what the number dust is for, yeah.
Many are making up for lost pandemic's time. It shows on their girth. There are many different Maya clinics, but I won't name all of them. Basically, you're paying £1,000 per kilo lost, says a friend. So, what's the appeal of these mystical starvation camps where a biscuit is harder to come by than the solution to climate change?
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I call it hedonic hardship. This is where you pay someone to make you suffer.
Fuck off!
No, I that's not where you pay someone to make you suffer. That's an entirely different thing.
This is what, showing up at the clinic and the fucking guy from Hellraiser is there. We have such sights to show you. You won't get to eat any of them, but we'll show you. Like, what the fuck?
Admittedly, with Apple TV brought into your bedroom and Barbara Sturm €300 facials and Botox, if you ask nicely, administered in some. We
I
know
love the Apple TV plug in there, just like, casually. Ah, yes, Apple TV is what the rich and famous watch.
We know the rich suffer less. One of the perks of wealth is the lack of discomfort. The whole reason for...
Fucking hell, like.
That is the most inane statement I think we've had in an article in a good 6 months.
We know the rich suffer less. One of the perks of wealth is the lack of discomfort. The whole reason cold water swimming is so fashionable is because it makes us suffer. Ditto for fasting.
It's also because cold water swimming is going to be an activity you can't really do in about 10 years' time. So,
Yeah.
Get it in while you can.
Oh, it'll be compulsory for 2 months of the year.
Deprivation.
But anyway, if these people are desperate, like to give away, like to lose money and suffer, I have a solution we could propose.
Deprivation and discomfort channel our inner caveman, brackets, who fasted because there wasn't actually any food. Okay. Fasting sends a signal to the body that the end must be nigh. Plus, it's all about the gut. Dr. Maya, whose portrait hangs in my doctor's office, worked out a long time ago that the gut is responsible for most things. Even dogs are fed kefir yogurt now.
The gut did 9/11.
Even dogs are fed kefir now. That's how microbiome mad we are. Jesus fucking Christ.
Sorry, even dogs are fed what?
Kefir, Kefir. It's a kind of like tangy. It's halfway between milk and yogurt.
Sorry, what was that? What was that last letter there?
IR. There's an R in there.
Ah, I think you said air, and I couldn't work out which letter you meant. Like, but I have no idea what the fuck that is. To be fair,
it's like a milk drink. It's like a sort of slightly tangy milk drink, roughly speaking.
Oh, Yakult then.
Yeah.
It's BioLive. It's BioLive, but ethnic and therefore great, according to the rich.
Back to the clinic. So, in spring, out of the blue, my husband suggested we go to the Viva Maya in Altaussee together as our summer holiday. I too love to go on holiday and suggest to my partner that she's too fat and could stand to lose a few kilos.
He sounds like a keeper.
He later confessed he suggested it so I would rehab again. It's a much cheaper option than the Priory. Wait, what? So
what?
I would...
What?
He later confessed he suggested it so I would rehab again. And the Priory
Just
is like a
casually
proper...
dropping an addiction problem?
Yeah,
in there?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they did say earlier in the article that it was about booze as well, so...
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
Okay.
There was also, in his case, the tight belt syndrome, which affects roughly 70% of guests. My share, which included the expensive ozone and vitamin infusions, was a few pennies short.
This sounds like a very happy marriage they've got. Like he thinks she's a drunk and she thinks he's fat.
Also, ozone infusions. Yes, exposure to ozone is good for you, don't you know? Like, what?
Well, that's why we made
Huffing
that.
photocopiers.
Well, that's why we made that big hole, James, so we could rub it on ourselves with the leftover stuff.
That wasn't real, though, because everyone said there was going to be a hole in the ozone layer, and then there wasn't, so checkmate, liberals.
My share was a few pennies short.
Just like year 2000, Bug. That didn't happen either.
My share was a few pennies short of £4,000. My husband's was less. Again, this is for 10 days, I think. Or less, I can't remember. Overlooking the glorious...
Give me the £4,000
Yeah.
and I will sit you in Jamie's basement.
I mean, this is a council house. It doesn't have a basement, like.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point of it being a Fritzl retreat. No one thought Fritzl had a basement either.
Overlooking the glorious, glass-clear and warm Lake Altaussee, the Vivermeier looks like a ski chalet. It's all very airy, timber-floored chic, until you're ushered into the dining room, where a delightful member of staff greets you with an iPad. Many ask for a menu. There isn't one. Instead, you are brought a washed-out bowl of vegetable soup and a teaspoon. At this point, some guests flash for €1 and ask for the real menu. But the staff don't flinch. They don't flinch.
No, they don't. This doesn't happen. Like, who the fuck's paying like 800 fucking £1,000 to go to some fucking like fasting clinic and then demanding cakes? Do you know what I mean? This is like the most transparent lie like anyone's ever fucking written down, and I'm madder than I've ever been.
Don't think about it, Jamie. You're not meant to think about any of this.
They don't flinch when
someone has to.
No, they really don't, apparently.
Also, I could thoroughly believe...
I haven't had a holiday in about 14 years, you know.
I can thoroughly believe, by the way, that there are people who check into a fasting clinic and then try to bribe the staff to bring them cake. I could thoroughly believe that. Like,
I can believe that, but they don't go into the dining room and go, well, where are my quail? Or whatever the fuck, while waving like a comically oversized wad of banknotes around.
Like, I can absolutely see like a fat rich guy being sent to one of these retreats by his alcoholic wife who hates him. And like, you know, him like sidling up to one of the staff kind of, you know, and go, listen, there's a little something in it for you if you can sneak in the Monster Munch or whatever. I could see that. But like Jamie says, you don't like the whole idea of, yes, let's ruin our conspicuous consumption by acting gauche in the dining room. It's like, oh, come on.
They don't flinch when you ask for another rice cracker, or even when I begged for one measly extra slice of air-dried sweet potato. You're not allowed...
Oh, piss off.
You're not allowed, chime the waiters, who probably stick pins into doors at night. 3 times a day, they have to...
What? What?
What?
Stick pins into dolls at night?
Yeah, because they like torturing
Are we meant
people.
to be like...
It's a thing.
Oh, yeah. Dolls? I think you said fucking dolls.
Yeah.
No, I did then I translated mentally. I'm like, what's Dutch to comprehensible?
Shit, like I thought that was like, you know, like he leaves a suitcase. I thought that was some euphemism. I was too working class to fucking understand.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not you, Rob. It's the writing of this. The writing style is so bad. Like, I genuinely don't know sometimes when one word is actually another one.
I'll be honest, the writing feels like it's written by like a lower middle class person who desperately wants you to, you know, think that they're upper class or upper class adjacent.
The writing sounds like someone with a severely low blood sugar level.
Well, that would check out. 3 times a day, they have to explain to some absurdly spoiled person that another chewing trainer, as the bread rolls are called, is not going to happen. There will be no substitutions. I think I have a dog. I think they have I think Gino has a chewing trainer, but that was from when he was a puppy.
Is it so that your jaw muscles don't atrophy during your few days?
I think so, yeah. The Maya feeds you in the morning egg or yogurt, plus some bread-type trainer, but at night you're on your own.
What, do you have to, like, fucking forage yourself? It's like fucking hunter-gathering in the car park, you know what I mean?
It's like tonguing the last bit of dry roadkill on the drive-in.
I meant like just stripping the fucking tires off someone's Range Rover and just like barbecuing them.
But at night, you're on your own with mostly just broth. Many sleep badly because of it. Coffee is out.
But don't sleep in the broth.
Just lying down with your ear in the soup going, this is the most uncomfortable pillow I've ever used.
Coffee is out, brackets. I confess to bringing my own stash. So she was like giving people shit who flashed wads of euros to get some like crisps or something, and then she's
she
fucking
because she
hiding
made those
coffee down
people
her
up.
trousers.
I really
Also-
enjoy the fact that this is supposed to be some kind of like actual rehab centre, and she's managed to smuggle in coffee. That's great.
Also, right, in all seriousness here, like, coffee isn't calorific if you take it black. And on top of that, it's like, it doesn't, contrary to popular belief, like, it doesn't fuck up you going cold turkey from, like, heroin or alcohol if you drink coffee. If anything, it actually helps.
Yeah,
so
no.
why would it... I don't understand that.
No, they
Because if
obviously
it's a
don't
rehab
care.
centre and she's managed to smuggle something in that she's not supposed to have, otherwise why would she phrase it as that? Then that's a bit of a worrying fucking situation.
Well, yeah, but she phrased it like that to sound cool. Do you know what I mean? Because again, this is something else she's just made up. Like, it's, you know how you have like what's the two voices you have in English? You have like the passive voice and the fucking
Active.
voice. And like British journalists have the sort of like fabrication voice. Which is like, you know what I mean, where just everything they fucking write is just some bullshit that it's like you ever seen like a thing in the paper where they go on about like fucking young kids today, like this is the one I actually saw years and years ago, like fucking kids today can't learn to drive properly, and like some guys have revealed, some driving instructor has revealed the hilarious gaffes that kids today make, including one girl who insisted the mirror was for putting on your makeup, and it's like, yeah, okay, like that didn't fucking happen, did it? Maybe you asked someone, what do you think the mirror's for? And they went, well, putting on your makeup. And then you just like lied to the papers to make it sound stupider than it was.
Also,
Because,
1,000 to 1, if that was an actual thing, some woman learning to drive 50 years ago would have done the same thing or made the same joke. So it's entirely fucking irrelevant.
Also, so you're basically saying it's active, passive, and fabricant, right?
Yeah.
It's called received pretending, actually.
During the day, guests are fed laxative salts and appetite-suppressing base powders, followed by a 15-minute stomach massage / doctor's appointment. Then they are given an ever-changing hourly schedule.
Hang on, fucking record scratch.
Is the doctor giving you the stomach massage, or like did you have one team doing that while the doctor's at the other end asking you like when was the last time you fucking stubbed your toe or some shit?
Well, there's a forward slash between massage and doctor's appointment, so it's 15-minute stomach massage / doctor's appointment.
Okay, but this idiot can't write to save a life, so like.
They are given ever-changing hourly schedules of detox-enhancing activities, some of which seem utterly pointless, such as foot baths that instantly turn the water brown with impurities. I genuinely remember these from like years ago when I used to stay up a lot in the middle of the night and get very drunk, and I'd watch infomercials, and that was one of them. On the plus side...
There was briefly a place around here that did that shit.
Yeah.
And so unsurprisingly, it just disappeared without a trace. It was that, and I think the thing where the fucking like fish
thing,
you,
yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
Which they had to get rid of because it ended up being a massive vector for disease.
Yeah.
Who would have guessed?
On the plus side, Marcus, the cult osteopath, relieved one guest's chronic tennis elbow in less than 2 minutes.
Just fucking tuck it off at the shoulder.
Yeah, just severed the nerve. Look, no pain.
I really like the idea of that this is actually like a fully like robe and mask cult, and that they have an official cult osteopath.
Yeah, the guy's there with like a sacrificial dagger, and he just like fucking, do you know what I mean? Where's it hurt on the shoulder?
Take 2 sips of this and call me in the morning.
They're in like full robe and get up, and like the choir singing "Dormy," you know, in the background, while one of them's just giving a stomach massage and going, "So your knee's been bothering you, has it?" Just like. You know. Also, I'm just obsessed with this idea of a stomach massage as like a routine thing. Just like, is it like with a cow, they stick their hand down their throat or something? Like,
I think it's like the
No,
cow.
it's like with a dog where they just flip you on your back and rub your tummy.
Who's a good boy?
Who's a good waste of space? Who's a good person with more money than sense? It's you. Yes, it's you.
It's either that or they pick you up like they're decorating a cake and just try and squeeze all the shite out one end.
Is it somehow related to like leaving a suitcase? Like, you know how you pack a suitcase, you like squeeze it down.
In summer, you walk around and swim in the lake. The best part is lounging on the deck chairs, comparing and contrasting treatments and complaining. This is a very British
It's
holiday.
a holiday for rich British people,
Yes.
right? Okay.
When you do, you're whatted out. That's WHAAAT question mark 3 exclamation marks by some of the treatment costs. Newbies know nothing and so do everything. Habitués, the majority, know why they're here, to not eat and relax. Brackets, the proximity to doctors is a big plus too. She's a huge fan of parentheses. It's so fucking annoying to read. At this, they are...
I don't like this use of the word habitué so often. That's clearly just a fucking choice way of saying, I am a total fucking rube.
It's how
I will
you...
go back
It's,
to this.
honestly, she just wrote regulars and then did right-click synonyms and then probably she ended up
Yeah.
there. Like, it's that. Purging your gut with magnesium citrate and colonics is a big part too, as is eating nutritious mush-like food, parentheses, supposedly to relieve the burden of digestion, and laboriously chewing on cardboard breads to stimulate saliva. Part of the Maya logic is that we all eat too much acid, parentheses, sugar, processed foods, seed oils, and the process
Piss off.
and the process shifts our ecosystem back to alkaline, bringing inflammation down.
God, all fucking mighty.
I love my own personal ecosystem, like the way the little lambs gambol across the, lawns that roll within me, beneath which there's a deep substrate of rich soil. Like, I love the ecosystem that is me.
Yeah, but what if your soil becomes too acidic, James?
Oh, and the lambs don't gamble as much, and that's a real fucking problem, Rob.
Yeah. Have you considered spending 4,000 quid to get the lambs in your stomach back to gambling?
You'll be surprised to hear that my answer is no.
As someone who has lingering long COVID, I am sure I can feel the effect in my joints. My husband, meanwhile, is 12 pounds lighter. He voiced his complaints, parentheses, not least about the billing system, which was shrouded in mystery, though there was a computer
This was 10 days, right?
Yeah.
That's all water weight. Fuck off. Like, you can't lose £12 in 10 days.
No.
Like, in any
Not
way
of,
that
not
is
of
reasonable.
body fat. No, you can't.
That is water weight or cancer, and that's basically it.
Yeah. All right, let me try to read this fucking sentence again.
Maybe he just left his suitcase. You don't know.
He was stepping on the scales every morning with his suitcase and then left it at the clinic, and what do you know, he's £12 lighter. Sure.
He voiced his complaints, parentheses open, not least about the billing system, which was shrouded in mystery, though there was a computer malfunction, to be fair, parentheses close, but 3 weeks later he looks like a new man. I do like the idea of these people just being fucking ripped off by a billing system shrouded in mystery. That's very good. He plans to fast every few months, we'll see.
I like the idea that, like, he's come out 3 weeks later, looks like a new man, as if she's not just gotten out, she's had the first bit of chocolate she's had in 3 months and everything's fucking brilliant again.
Yeah, everything sort of snaps back into Technicolor.
Like, David, again, 10 days. Like, if
I
it was
know.
3 months, then you'd be like,
Weeks,
okay.
sorry,
maybe...
I meant weeks, but just honestly fucking ridiculous. Shut up.
The rehab aspect worked its magic. No explanation given. My doctor also took me off antihistamines.
Disorder and half.
My doctor also took me off antihistamines, parentheses, which almost all long COVIDers are put on. Yes, we could have done...
Oh, good. Good. The diet doctor from the basement, fucking Joseph Shipman, decided that I shouldn't actually be on the things that my GP told me to be on. Great.
Yeah, yes, we could have done this at home for free, but I am 6 decades on this earth and I have only once managed a week without chocolate or coffee, parentheses, never ever again. you could just do that. Like, I don't know. Like, I like a cup of coffee as much as the next person, but like, I don't know.
You can give up coffee and chocolate or whatever, and yeah, you'll be irritable and feel like, arsey about it, but it is something within your power to do.
Yeah, you could also do that and get 4,000 quid out of your account and just put it on the table, and then every time you're arsy about not having a cup of coffee, just stare at it for a while. Like that's.
You could just hire a bear that eats money.
Pay Jamie to come round your house, and anytime you go to make a coffee, he just smacks you in the back of the head. It'd be a better use of the money.
Yeah,
yeah.
You can even sit on a deck chair
wallet
and complain
inspector
about them
right
too.
next to the kettle.
Yeah.
Aye.
Or next time,
it's better than taking a private jet to fucking Austria, so that you can use a makeshift spear to pick the fucking the bones of children out the grill of somebody's Tesla just because you're hungry at 2:00 in the morning or whatever the fuck they're doing.
You could also, look, this is entirely voluntary, but every time, if you want to fast for a week, and every time you grab that piece of chocolate, you sub an extra time to the top tier of our Patreon. That's very possible, and we would, in fact, encourage you to do that.
Yeah. Sub to the top tier of the Patreon, and I will personally tell you to stop eating Mars bars.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could just personally give me $3,000, and I'll just tell you nothing fucking matters. Just do what you want.
And
just free yourself from the fucking insane pressures that you've put upon yourself for no earthly reason. You know what I mean? Oh, my husband's fucking 4 pounds overweight.
Yeah, and if you pay me another $3,000 on top, then I will once a month pop by and give you 1 square of chocolate and a very bad cup of coffee. Because, I'm a nice guy. I mean, excluding travel costs, hotel costs, there's a few ancillary things in my mystery billing system that will never become clear to you.
And you'll feel right at home. It'll be on a small plate and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
The fucking billing system bit of this really, how are any of these motherfuckers who are yeah, sure, I'll go and do this kind of daft bullshit, how many of them have never been to a fucking restaurant where there's no prices on the menu? They know how this works. You go somewhere, there's no prices made available to you, and you're fucking fleeced.
Yeah, and it's also if you have to ask, you do not belong there.
Exactly, yeah. So
that's why none of them ever ask. That's you know what I mean? If you have to ask, it's too expensive for you. That's fucking, do you know what I mean? That's part of the scam. Whoever put that about in the first place.
It's up there with one of the greatest fucking con jobs of all time, is that system. It's very good.
Sorry, give me a second. I can skip meals easily, but it's not the same. All you really do at the Maya is float around in a bathrobe, a water jug superglued to your hand. The powders are...
You can do that at home.
That sounds like something out of a Saw film. Do you know what I mean? Fucking putting about in a fucking dressing gown with a bottle of water super glued to your hand. If you spill any, someone fucking shoots you from the next room.
It's what's the name of the villain again? Jigface or something? Jigsaw?
Yeah, Jigface, that's his name.
It's Jigface gives you
He's got dancing eyebrows.
It's amazing what that Cadbury's kid went on to do, isn't it?
Oh, fuck, right, okay.
The powders are lobotomizing, as are the treatments
Numbers will do that.
As are the treatments such as Watsu, where a skilled practitioner basically rebirths you in a warm swimming pool.
So we've talked about inflation.
That is the best ever use of the phrase skilled practitioner that I have ever fucking heard, man. 10 out of 10, no fucking notes.
It's a shame Seb hasn't been back on his podcast. We talked about inflation at the first part of it, and now we're talking about unbirthing. Fantastic.
Oh, no.
That one's for you, Kate.
If calm were easy to achieve, there would be no need for clinics or spas.
What were easy to achieve?
I heard it too.
If calm were easy to achieve... Jesus fucking Christ. there would be no need for clinics or spas. My ability to endure infuriating tasks, like calling the same service provider every day until he replies, is much better. So all it takes...
Oh, that's struggling to get the guy to turn up to take the bees away.
Yeah, so Jamie, the next time you're ringing British Gas and getting really frustrated because they just put in magic numbers at whatever they want.
What I need to do is get a skilled practitioner to ram me up a fanny. Yeah, I feel less annoyed by the hold music already.
We both look radiant. Parentheses, everyone says so. The Viva Maya is St. Moritz skiing expensive, but unlike most alcohol and food-packed summer holidays, this one keeps on giving.
Incredible.
That's it. That's your that's yet another tour of the lives of the really struggling people.
Fucking hell, man.
It's good to know that as these arseholes are destroying society and ruining everything about us, they are in fact just the most feckless people.
It's great, isn't it?
Impossible
it's so
to imagine.
It's
so good.
It's not uncommon because you see this throughout a bunch of ages where that at some point the rich just start demanding to be beaten and fed poorly while they are being very rich. It's like the fucking Kellogg's thing in America, and the guy who invented the cornflakes, who was the anti-masturbation guy.
The fucking the cornflake anti-wanking mitts.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck he was doing.
So by the way, if you're wondering where the money comes from, she is married to a really high level
warlock.
Well, I was thinking Mason. That was what was in my head. So
banking.
Yeah, we were both
He's a hedge fund guy.
Of course he is.
All right, so I don't have comment
people.
on commentariat. I think we've had enough of the comment. I think, but yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, that is us for this week.
That was a very special trip. I
Fucking wants to be for $4,000.
I don't know, man. A part of me wonders, as the oceans rise and our world is on fire and, we descend into the hellscape, what are these guys gonna do?
I'm sure they'll find a dressing gown and a jug of water somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's just the ultra billionaires have got their plans for their fucking vaults where, day one they're going to be murked by their security guards and, that's that. But what about these guys? What the fuck are they going to do with themselves?
This is their plan. They're training their bodies so that they can be, fasted and unbuffed or whatever the fuck.
Cutting around the wasteland in sackcloth with a jug of dust glued to one hand.
Yeah.
But looking fabulous while doing it.
I'm just picturing Tarquin kind of asking, where's the person to rub my belly as, the mountains burn in the background sort of thing?
Some chrome motherfucker just taking his head clean off.
She, by the way, we're not going to do all of it, but she has an incredible roll call of articles. Let me read you just a few titles before we leave. This is all just in the title.
Go on. Teasers for future, Rob.
I sent my dog to an A-list boarding school.
Yes! Oh, no, can you read that now, please? Please. I know we're going long, but could we? Could we, as a little treat?
Let me see
just
how
as
long
a little
it is.
treat.
Let me see how long it is. If it's very long, we're obviously not doing it. No, this is long. Jesus, this is very long.
Yeah, perfect. Let's do it.
No.
I am here for that. You can't. Oh, come on. You can't tease us with that.
No, you can, but do give us some more titles.
Class and staff, my Notting Hill set see themselves in Parasite.
How long's that one?
We're not reading another fucking article. Just go through the list of titles.
No, we're not. But shocked by Boris Johnson's flat refurb. Don't be. It's easy to blow £90,000. And I'll just.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking that. Like I've done that twice this week.
Well, I'll just read you the first sentence. When my husband and I received the bill for a pair of interlined silk cream curtains from some rarefied designer, we almost fainted.
Yeah.
Then there is mice, ! Cracks, ! Life with the super rich neighbors who can't stop digging. So yeah, I think. Pippa Middleton, welcome to the life of the Chelsea hedge funder's wife. What a. So this is the last one, then we'll stop. What a. I can't even. What.
Rob, do you need to copy and paste it to me and I'll read it?
No, I can do.
Come on, son.
What a bonus really does for your marriage. Anyway, that's future content, presumably.
Yeah, let's just do a podcast about her instead. You know what I mean?
we may end up doing one. I'm not kidding.
No, I meant like just we'll just pivot the entire operation. Yeah. No more cultural committees. No more of this other shit. It's now entirely about like insane hedge fund wife.
Right. Okay. You can get more episodes. We've just released our bonus in which we did a cultural committee on a good film. That is out now on patreon.com/praxiscast. We have the stream, which may be going ahead this week, but if not, it's usually Thursdays. That's twitch.tv/praxiscast. Look forward to a possible big collaboration thing happening on the streams sometime soon as well. And you can get merch at praxiscast.tmail.com. T-shirts, vests, whichever takes your fancy, you can get it all there. And you should also listen to Peace at Home, the podcast that features Jamie, but also features music by Jordan.
Yeah, we're coming up on 12 episodes.
Yeah. First button I could find, sorry. Yeah. Also, look out for an episode we have coming up with 3 of the cast of Com Radio, and we'll be doing a joint production with them. 1 episode on our feed, 1 episode on theirs, so look forward to that. That'll be out in the near future as well. And yeah, that's all we've got, and we'll catch you later on.
Right.
Yeah,
Cheerio.
bye-bye.
Mind how you go.
Bye.